This is Attorney Marjorie Brunelli, and today I'm going to talk a little bit about investing in foreclosure properties. It can be a great investment, but only if you know what you're doing. Otherwise, it can be a costly mistake, as I've seen here in the office quite a few times. So I created a simple list to just give you an idea what to watch for. The first issue is title issues. When you buy at an auction, generally foreclosure sales are through auction through the court system, as there's a lawsuit pending. So they'll list the property for sale and there's an online auction and people bid. But when you purchase a property that way, you're not guaranteed a clean title. What does that mean? I've seen cases where buyers walked away thinking that they had this great, amazing deal, only to find out later that there were liens, unpaid association fees, city code violations, all of which are still attached to the property. So I don't do title searches because I don't do closings. Most of my work is relating to litigation, such as quiet title actions, which is one of the actions, the process that you use to clean title to a property, equitable liens, subrogation cases, foreclosure actions, and partition actions. But it's very important that you consider running a title search to make sure you're not purchasing pretty much a money pit. And there are issues with certain types of liens, such as tax liens, the bank liens, or mechanical liens. If somebody did work on the property, didn't get paid, and placed a lien on the property, all of those types of liens are superior to yours, depending on how you're purchasing this property, and can wipe you out. So your investment would basically be completely lost. These are items that we really need to discuss in a consultation, but I'm just throwing it out there so you pay attention to these potential issues. It's a lot of work to identify. That's why I do not recommend doing this without an attorney. Also, another thing that you need to take into consideration, occupancy problems. I had one case recently. They purchased the property. The former owner was still living in the property. They didn't know that in Florida you can't simply show up, change the locks, and no, I'm good. That's called self-help. It's prohibited by law, and it's going to cause you a lot of problems. So that can get quite costly. In Florida, in order to evict either a tenant, a former owner, a squatter, whatever the situation may be, you need to follow a judicial process. So it's another lawsuit that you need to open and follow through to obtain possession, regain possession of the property. Another item to pay attention to, there's a difference between a bank sale and an HOA sale. If you're buying the property from either a homeowners association or a condo association through their foreclosure, you need to understand that that purchase is still subject to the bank's mortgage. So if there's a mortgage on the property and that's not being paid and the bank decides to proceed with foreclosure, guess what? They're going to wipe you out, and all your investment is going to go to, wherever, where you're going to basically lose all the money that you put in. I've seen this happen multiple times. So you need to be careful. You need to do your research before you invest. Sometimes if something looks like it's too good to be true, you better believe it. And buyer beware, so be careful. And lastly, sometimes there are hidden costs. Sometimes these properties have been abandoned for years, or there are a lot of major repairs that are going to be needed, unpaid property taxes, another issue with tax liens, or HOA assessments, sometimes in the tens of thousands of dollars. So people think if they buy the property, and this is tricky, so that's why a consultation is very important. I'm not going to go into details. These are the things that we discuss in consultations. Where it can get tricky is if there are unpaid HOA assessments. There is a way to resolve that, but you need to resolve that within the foreclosure action. And there are certain things you need to do to take care of that. If you buy the property and those items are not resolved, now you're responsible for paying those. And it can be a lot of money, sometimes even more than what you pay for the property. So be very careful. That's why attorneys exist. That's why we're here. That's where I would come in to assist you with your due diligence to make sure you're not buying a money pit and all your investment is going to go to hell, as I generally tell my clients. So if you're thinking about buying foreclosed properties in Florida, schedule a consultation with me. The link is above on the bio. We're going to review your specific situation and make sure, we spot all the risks and also develop a strategy, put a strategy in place so that you can invest with confidence in the particular property that you're looking at. Let's make that investment work for you and not against you. Thanks so much. Until the next video.